go. When you had the answer, and you were there alone. You left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more. Give it up, give it up, give it away. While you were barely aware, you learned that day. Cut off so much, hardly remain. While you knew that there was still a way. This is your only plan. Oh, now this is your only. Now this is your only plan. Oh, now this is yours. And you're right. You force it to yield. You forge it to the lines. You let your callous be your shield, and everyone will say that it all was finished years ago, but you will stay, and you won't ever let it go. When you had the answer, and you were there alone, you left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more. Then again, you found the answer, and you were there alone. You left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more. When you had the answer, and you were there alone. You left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more. Then again, you found the answer, and you were there alone. You left the door unopened when you knew that you would want more.
Hello, 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 y'all. Ooh, welcome. How's your new place? It is very nice. I'm very excited. Still, obviously, in the process of moving in, but much bigger. I might have slightly different volume this time because I've just moved into a new place. And while it is 9 a.m., and I don't think it's unreasonable for me to be at work at 9 a.m. and work from home and remote, like I think that this is not unreasonable. I also don't want to be an annoying loud neighbor on my second or third day of living here. So I'm gonna just be a little bit quieter. Hopefully that's okay with y'all. Hey, Juice from Hyrule. Yeah, so the song was Alchemist by Good Kid. There's supposed to be a thing that shows under that waveform bar that says that. It works sometimes, doesn't work others. It's not code that I've written. If it was, it would probably be less consistent, all things considered, but your webcam quality is immaculate. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's actually like a camera, so I can do many different fun things with it. One nice thing about being in a new place is that my internet speed has gone up probably 3 to 4 times as fast. One advantage of living in an apartment building rather than just a residential home is that I have a fiber connection. So there is fiber going to my router over there, and I get 300 megabits up, 300 megabits down. So with a symmetric 300 megabit per second internet connection for just me, hopefully there should be enough throughput for stream to look okay. Juice from Hyrule, whoa. I mean, yeah, I'm very happy with this setup. I'm especially happy because before the setup was the back wall was way closer to me. Now that it's farther away, the blur is so much bigger and it just looks so wild. There's so much separation between me and the background because the background is so much farther away. Juice from Hyrule, that's so cool. I'm glad you like it. I like it too. Hi, Shem. Welcome. Twitch was twitchy for me this morning. Hello. Hi. Welcome. It's nice to see you. Warp speed streaming. I mean, yeah, I'm excited for it. It was funny. They were trying to upsell me on a faster internet speed. And I'm like, I'm one person. Why would I need 500 megabit per second? Golly. I would get it if I had more people living with me, but it is just me in this apartment for now. Well, hello y'all. Welcome. If any of you have been here for previous streams or people have been redeeming channel point rewards, there was an internal discussion in MLH. Someone redeemed a Rickroll on a stream that wasn't mine. They refunded the Rickroll and I've refunded everything else, probably including redemptions that were done on my streams. I'm working on it. I believe that I just forgot to click the button because I've had other things on my mind this week, which is unfortunate. I really should remember to click that button, but with all of this happening, things happen. So that should be better for the future. But for those of you who have not been to one of my streams before, hello, I'm Dimmer. I use they, them pronouns. I've been a coach with Major League Hacking for just over, no, not just over, for like 2.5, almost 3 years. That's what I wanted to say. Hey, Elena, welcome. It's nice to see you back. Ethical Cod, what mic headphone are you using? So headphones are some Sony WXM 104s, whatever, noise canceling, whatever. They've been fine. I don't like, yeah, yep. 1000. I won't say any bad things about them because I've only had good experiences, but it was just, I needed noise canceling headphones based on the places that I was living before. And then microphone is an Elgato. Sorry, I know I'm mixing up my microphone and a Wave DX by Elgato. It's like roughly an $80 XLR microphone. So it's slightly better than some other ones, but not a super fancy microphone. It hurts to see others wasting their channel points. I know. I'm doing I refunded everyone that I could, which was everything I could refund back to like the past 3 days. So I believe everyone has been refunded. So hopefully that like people have their channel points back and I will be more diligent about clicking the off button. I'm also considering adding in the description of each one that it can only be redeemed on one of my streams so that if I forget, there is warnings and maybe even making someone like type yes in the message slot to say like, yes, I understand what this is. We'll see. There are things that I can do to make this better that I will think about. Because, yeah, I don't want people to be redeeming their hard-earned channel points on a stream where they don't get anything from them. Sound Sage, hello, everyone. Namaste from Nepal. Hello. Welcome from Nepal. It's so nice for you to join us. We've just been hanging out thus far. Catching up, talking. It's weird now that I don't have that, like, dark brown door here. Chat is a lot less legible. What happens when I use channel points? Why don't you try one and figure it out? Most of them are sound effects, except for Rickroll, which covers the whole screen with a Rickroll. They are only eligible on my streams, based on some like tech stuff on the back end of how streams work. Hello, y'all. Hi, Juice from Hyrule. Welcome. With that, I think we can go ahead and get started. So, last time we started at making our 3D platformer in Godot game engine. Welcome, Anushka Coder Girl. Welcome. It's nice to see you. And this is generally what we had. We have an environment that is just a blank square. We have a character represented by this capsule, and then if we hit play, play scene, there we go. I can use WASD to move the character around. Now you'll notice that it's very slidey and floaty. We were working on fixing that as the next step. So this is where we've gotten thus far. The goal for today is we're going to finish up making basically our like 3D platformer, and then we are going to add in a pathfinding AI enemy that'll have very similar code to our character that'll follow us around and try to like touch us, hit us, grab us, whatever an enemy would do. We aren't going to be doing any of the art animation sort of things, so it's just going to be kind of a like another capsule that is just pathfinding towards us. But I think it is an interesting stream topic. Shrey, I have 18.4k, so Rickroll at the end. You can, okay, so everyone is very polite, and I really appreciate that, but I do always want to say, when I have enabled channel points and TTS and all of these things, I have done so with the like explicit understanding that they can be done at any time. So if the button is available, you can click it and it will be fine. I appreciate you being like, oh, I want to do it at the end, I don't want to interrupt you. And also, part of the fun for some people is interrupting. So again, I just want to let y'all know, channel points are meant to be redeemed, and I as the streamer could put limits and controls in place if it ever became an issue to do that. As long as the buttons are available and as long as like TTS is on, y'all can use them. Thank you, Anushka. Speaking of things that can be redeemed at any time, that one did not get me. Last time I streamed, one got me really good because I was like really focused on Godot, and it just happened. It was just like, whoa. Shrey, there you go. Yep, exactly. Okay. It feels weird. I know that part of the reason why I want to be quieter is because this is like an emptier room, so there's more echo to it. So my like, when I'm like trying to figure out how loud I'm being, I'm getting more feedback. I can like hear myself in my microphone and things like that. But it's weird. I feel like the energy is so different when I'm like trying to be like, okay, Shem, it's a good vibe. Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel like I'm so used to just being as bombastic as possible. With that, that is what we've done thus far. We were following this tutorial, and we got to writing movement script, adding input events, listening, camera controls. The viewport of Godot and Unity seems pretty similar. It really is. Your like experience writing code in Godot versus your experience writing code in Unity, the two are not interchangeable, obviously. They have their own differences and like preferred methodologies and things like that. But the two are like the most similar game engines when you're comparing things. So we did input events. Hey, Jasal, welcome. I'm doing well. I just moved, so I'm a little tired and sore, but overall, I'm excited to be here with y'all to do some Godot. Nice hairstyle, thank you. I have a ponytail somewhere in the back, but whenever I'm trying to do work, I see the colors are gone. Yep, they'll be back. Not the like purple on the wall because I can't paint these walls, but the flag will be back up, and those like wooden panels and all the stuffed animals and things like that. We will return to some form of normalcy, but that'll take a bit while I'm still moving in. Unity had a thing where the creators had to pay for each download. Yes, so Unity no longer has that, but there was a time where Unity required or was looking for payment per game download. it was widely panned. They walked it back, but it showed something that, like, we talked about Godot right after that, because it showed a thing that a lot of game developers were like, I don't know, Unity, like, that's, you change your, like, terms of service and billing model for all games, even ones that had already been created. Wow. Okay, I really need to get a glass of water. I'm sorry, I will be right back. Oh, how is my camera on this screen? Oh, I know what I did. That's what is happening. Okay. There we go. I just moved it into the wrong folder, so it was in the folder with all of my chaos tools. Okay, I will literally be right back. I just really need water. I didn't even mute my microphone, so I could, like, talk to y'all, and you can hear that I'm further away. I am back with hydration. Okay. Drinking out of an old Peaches jar because I don't actually have glasses right now. That move in life. Okay, let's see. Hey, this morning I found out at Twitter someone implemented Unreal in web using WebGL. As in, you can...
We're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. I've still commitments while I'm thinking of
Welcome back, y'all. Hey, Oh, God, my voice. Hey, Farrell, welcome. You might want to also consider cutting this short. I mean, maybe. I've also thought about that. And also, it can only be used once per stream. So no one's going to be spamming it. And also, it feels almost cheap to cut it short. Like, when someone spends, in this case, 10,000 channel points. Regarding time to increase the price, I deliberately lowered the price because it was 25k. Thank you. It was 25k before. And like it only got played like maybe 3 times ever. And most of those were people begging Shem to use their channel points. So I deliberately lowered the price as an experiment because I generally want people to be using channel points more. Again, all of the sound effects are way lower. So you can like watch for like, basically I wanted to think about the fact that like, if you watch my stream for 2 hours, I want you to be able to use at least one sound effect. I have more than 25k, lol. I mean, yes, a lot of people have a lot of channel points because they've been running for this entire time, but there hasn't been a compelling use case for them until now. And MLH doesn't use it. Yes. So, okay. Some like background on that. For MLH streams, we use a web streaming interface because we have so many different people and it allows us to bring people onto stream and it works really well. But I was able to get permission to use OBS instead. And because I use OBS, I can use a lot more different integrations. So it is not that MLH does not want to use it. It is that there's a very difficult balance between I am willing to spend a bunch of extra time making sure that the stream setup is working. Whereas for most streams, the goal is to make sure that you can like hear and understand the person who's streaming and that can happen from anywhere on any device. Like those are the main things instead, where for me, I'm willing to deal with the jank. So that's some background. Again, Wombo, well done with that timing. And hey, Ralph, and hello, Pharaoh. And also Green Yoshi. Oh my goodness. All of my like regulars are showing up right now in the middle of the Rickroll. That was wonderful. Sorry for the mistake. It's not WebGL, it's WebGPU. Let's take a look at this. Okay, that's cool. Yes, web GPU. Yeah, so that is, I think that is like the cool thing about using a game engine, where like there are people who will like write their own game engine in like Rust or whatever for their project, and they will make it perfect to exactly what they need. And that makes sense for some people, but for a lot of people, I think it's very valuable to not necessarily do that and instead use an existing tool, because that allows you to make use of things like that, where people are already writing code and tools and their assets and all of these things in place. The thing about Godot that is special is it is an open source game engine. So as compared to Unity and Unreal Engine, which you license and then you pay as you create the game, Godot being open source means that you have like complete access and ownership to it, which is wonderful. Oh my god, Shem. So many channel points. How are the WF blah 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 blah? They're good. I have had no complaints with them. They're very comfortable, very nice headphones, good noise canceling. They're fine. Someone was asking what you used to stream. I told them OBS. Yes, so the software is OBS. The camera is a Sony A6300. I'm just gonna write this down in chat. A6300 with a Sigma 24 to 75 f2 2.8 lens for people who understand that. And then the microphone is an Godot Wave DX to a Wave XLR. Just buy the Alpha 7 Mark III. Are you saying that you just bought it? Or are you telling me to just buy the Alpha 7 Mark III? Very nice Shem mirrorless sweet camera. I know. It cost me $170. It is. Yeah. It's a very nice camera. No recommending them to buy it. It's so goddamn expensive. Wow, swearing. A7 Mark III. Let's look what that is going for on eBay. It might be less than the last time that I looked. $1,000. Oh, yeah. For the difference between, so I got it on Reddit at that price. And it was I got a little bit off because there was like some things on the like sensor and stuff like that. It wasn't in great condition, but it's very functional. Highly recommend going on Reddit. There are different like camera gear buying and selling and trading. Reddit has a marketplace. It's not official. It's like an old-fashioned sort of like people post like, hey, I have this thing, and you reach out and you talk and you pay over or PayPal goods and services. So everyone has buyer protection and returns and things like that. But yeah, that is where I got this. Oh my God. It's very nice. Yeah, because when someone asks what I use to stream, usually people are asking like, how does it look like this? Because if I switch to my webcam, oh, I could have sworn that I had, anyway, yeah. Mirrorless cameras are so expensive. They are. I will be honest. I got extremely lucky getting this camera, and I actually feel kind of bad. Because, like, I don't know. I feel like the seller. Like, I feel bad for the seller sometimes. Lenovo 300 Full HD webcam. Hey. Yeah, if I was not streaming and if I did not have an interest in all of this stuff, I would, yeah, I do not recommend that anyone gets a nice camera. Anyway, goodness, got so distracted. Pretty sure he bought a new, better camera. Yeah, but I kind of wish that he had gotten more money for this camera. Bad/guilt is a gratuitous emotion. They sold it for what they wanted for it. Yeah. Channeling 404 not found. Tangent alert. It is. Okay. Oh, that Rickroll got me off my game. We're already half an hour in, and we haven't even talked about Godot yet. Okay. 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 Sorry. Oh. Okay.
Fault. Click the show built-in action.
So you've done that. we've done that.
floaty. Running the level scene now will let you move the player around on the little platform. You may notice the movement is a little floaty.
Okay, this is where we stopped.
We can rectify this easily. Head back to the editor. Select the player in the scene tree and look in the inspector. Under the linear drop-down, find the damp option and set it to 3. Now, the player will lose velocity as they move, to linear damping. The
Player, linear, damp. 3. Hey, okay, that feels better. Not perfect, but better. Someone on Discord posted a photo how their game will look after your stream, and it looked almost like Star Citizen. Wait, it was Star Citizen. That was a joke that they made. They posted a picture of another game, and talked about like, yo, my game is gonna look so sweet. Yeah, Elena, we'll talk about it. Don't worry. We went through, and in our player, we went to linear and we turned damp up to 3. So we're doing linear dampening of the velocity of the player. And when that's at 3, I still don't especially like this, the feeling of the player. It feels like sluggish. But it is functional. With that, we have now finished where we left off, which was listening for input events. So we have camera controls, mouse inputs. Yeah, so now we basically have another, 21 minutes of camera controls for this. Okay, we are actually going to leave this here to make sure that we have enough time for implementing our pathfinding. This is enough for us to do that. Again, that tutorial is in the description of the original video, and also I'm going to drop it in chat here. Because the point of this is to show off pathfinding AI. Wow, whenever I look at myself in the camera, you can tell how like inconsistent my posture is and how I sit in chairs weird by the fact that like I keep remembering to like, oh yeah, I should like sit up normally and like do all of this. And then I just like, I think it might be because my like ergonomics. Elena's response there was not to do with Star Citizen, but rather to the tutorial that I was following, so telling me to wait. I have the same issue sitting. Yep, I feel like it's not super uncommon. Okay, but what we're going to do here, you do not need to follow along with this if you want to create a normal game, but what we are just going to do is I'm going to take this, our mesh instance 3D, I'm going to make it way bigger, let's say 100 by 100, so that we aren't going to fall off the edges easily. And then I'm going to select our camera, and we are going to bring it way up, and then rotate it down -90 degrees. And the point here is we're looking just for a top-down camera. And if we now hit play on this, hey, whoa. How did it just fall through the floor? What? What? I understand. The plane is not solid past the original size. Yep. It is that I did not improve the collision shape. Mesh. create tri-mesh static body. Oh, wait. There we go, mesh, create tri-mesh static body. Now if we do this, collision mesh is still the original size, yep. Great. We now have our player that we can move around, and we have a top-down view. I don't find the plane thing. It is mesh instance 3D along the left-hand side. I would also say that if you want to create a normal game, this is no longer something that I think you should be following along with, but rather we're demoing how to use navigation meshes, because we're now creating like a weird top-down abomination that is just so we can move our player around and see them being followed by our pathfinding character. Great, okay, moved up the movement speed a little bit. Great. Now, what I want to do is I want to add some... This could be useful for replays. Oh, yes, I'm not saying that there's never a use for a top-down camera, but when we were originally creating a 3D platformer, which is what that tutorial was originally for, this is no longer super useful. Now we want to add some obstacles in the world. How did you replace the collision node? So what I did was I selected static body 3D and collision shape 3D, and I right-clicked and hit delete nodes. And then in mesh instance 3D, I went up to mesh, create tri-mesh static body. What is pathfinding? Sorry, I'm a noob. No, you are totally fine. So this is a thing I've talked about in previous streams, but let's totally go over it again. So this is AI ML week, and AI in computer science, people have like a very traditional view of that and what that entails, usually involving like neural networks and machine learning and all of these things. But AI in game development, when someone talks about a game having good AI, they are not looking for like... They aren't looking for it to be like a black... Yes, NPC. You got it. NPC behavior, yes. So in this case, we're implementing pathfinding, which is if we have a player character here, we're looking top down again, and we have an enemy, let's say a zombie that wants to chase the character, how does it know how to get from here to here? Especially if we have like a box or something here and it needs to go around. That is what we're talking about. If you've taken a like traditional classical algorithms, data structures sort of computer science class, you might have heard about Dijkstra's algorithm. It's a common pathfinding algorithm. And also A-star algorithm, which is what we're going to be implementing. These are not super complicated. Well, I don't want to understate how complicated pathfinding algorithms, Dijkstra's nearest neighbor, all of this is, I don't actually know if nearest neighbor is a pathfinding algorithm. Yeah, okay. It works-ish. There's weirdness. No, I learn it. Yes. There's weirdness there between what is traveling salesman and what is pathfinding, because traveling salesman has distinct points, whereas theoretically in our pathfinding algorithm, we have infinite points, but we're implementing A-star. You've seen this sort of algorithm before. But in order for us to like actually have a good time messing around with this, we need to create some obstacles that we need our AI to navigate around. So we're going to create a new box mesh. Size, let's say 5 by 5. Oh, no screen, thank you. By 5. We're just going to drag you to a place and give you a little fancy rotate. And then in our geometry, I'm just going to really quickly create a new material. And under our albedo, we're just going to make this red. Again, I'm not expecting y'all to necessarily follow this. I just want to make sure that we have some visible examples here for when we're implementing the actual important part, which is the pathfinding. Are you using Vulkan as your renderer for performance and intercompatibility, or is it something that Godot does automatically? So I'm using Forward Plus in Godot, which is its render engine, and then it does the compatibility layer. So in this case, it is rendering in Vulkan because I'm on a Mac. But Godot is handling that for us. Surface material, you. Let's make you a nice pastel blue. Oh, that's a very pretty color. Okay. Great. Now you. Simplified convex collision sibling. Let's try this again. Let's see if I do this. Now, will our character run into that and have collisions working? Please work, please work, please work. Hey, it works. Great. Let's make it purple. I want the boxes to be red. But if you can tell, I have like a favorite color. Let's do that. So we still have some contrast. Oh wait, let's make the character purple. You're right. Under player. Wait, where's our... Oh, player. Okay, player. Mesh instance 3D. Surface material. To my knowledge, Godot and Mac uses Vulkan and Molt and ENVK to translate the API to Metal 3. Hey, okay, that's cool. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about like lower level rendering APIs, but the thing that I am reacting to there is the fact that it has Metal. Also no translation emulation. No, it can translate. I know that that is a thing that is possible. I would not claim to be experienced in that, but I know that there are translation layers for... There we go. Okay, purple player. Red box with collisions. Oh, you're talking specifically, you know more about Molten VK than I do. Okay. Let's rename you to box 1. Oh, very good capitalization there, box 1. We're going to duplicate box 2, duplicate box 3. Great. So then our box 2, let's move over to here. And then box 3, let's put you down there. And then box 3, let's make you slightly smaller. Oh, that's changing all of them. Oh, because it's the same mesh. Okay. But if I go into here and I do transform and I scale you down, that is just you. Okay. Now, if we run this, we can see we have some obstacles with collisions, and we have a player that moves around. So now our goal is now to, let me again speed up our character speed there, because that is very slow. To be fair, I'm reading over what's been said in chat. I do not especially care how Godot renders what it renders. I just think it's cool that it does, that it works, and that, like, that is enough for me. Okay, great. This is working. So now our job, if we save, is just to add in an enemy that pathfinds to the player. And thankfully, I have another, thankfully shorter, video about doing just that.
I have a simple
I'm looking at this, and they have a different setup for their environment, so I need to make sure that mine matches. I'm trying to find, it looks like they have, is it a multi-mesh instance? New multi-mesh. Okay, what I'm actually just going to do is I'm going to just grab a node, and we're just going to throw all of our geometry in there. And hopefully that should work. If not, we'll continue to troubleshoot. But now if I select that, we'll see.
environment set up here.
Looking to see how they did that environment. That is not what I was looking for. let's try change type. Navigation 3D. Okay. Hey, that worked. Okay. Great. Ignore, you saw nothing.
Good job.
Thank you. I just wanted to check before. Are those lines? Do those show when we play? No, okay. It's just some viewport glitch. I just wanted to check before we got too far into it that I did not do something wrong in my setup that would prevent this from working. Project settings. I'm also just adding anti-aliasing here. Hey, that looks slightly better. Great, okay. Hey, can you see my chat? I can. Hello, Tanmay. Okay, great. So with that, we have like a roughly 10-minute tutorial that walks us through this. And given that we have an hour left to stream, we should be able to implement it in time and have an enemy that uses a navigation mesh to pathfind to our player. It is roughly halfway through the stream, and I've been bad at doing it this week, but generally, I like to, halfway through my streams, take a quick bio break, give people time to stand up, get some water, do what they need to do to take care of themselves. I submitted a hack on DevPost yesterday, but I didn't get in the mail that I completed the challenge. What should I do? Can you look into the problem? So I'm assuming you're referring to email. Are you in the MLH or Major League Hacking Discord? Because that is where you should ask this question. I do not have the resources to be able to look into this for you right now, but someone else. Okay, if you go into the Discord, let me see what channel you should ask this on. Under Global Hack Week, Ask Global Hack Week, you should create a new post there. And that is where you will be able to get support from people who have access to all of that backend stuff, which I do not right now. Hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, of course. Glad that helps. Okay, with that, we are going to take a quick 5-minute break, give people a chance to get a snack, get some water, stand up, stretch, all of that. We will be right back. Let me set my timer. Great. Okay. With that, we will be right back. See y'all in 5 minutes.
Count what you have now, don't count what you don't have. Count what you have now, don't count what you don't have. Find that you have so much. 頑張りすぎる自分に疲れてふと泣けてきた真夜中のバスルームで
about it.
I meant to do a really clean switch of the playlists. There we go. Okay, it didn't work as well as I thought it would. I thought that I had timed it perfectly. I thought that it was great. It was serviceable. It was passable. Hello, hello, welcome back. Hopefully y'all had some good coffee. I did some stretches. My neck is really sore. Apparently something about the way I have my bed set up after moving. It's not good. So taking the hook off the break, does the email I accessed Discord need to be the same I used to complete the challenges? The email used for... Yes. So generally, yes. The goal is that your dev post and MyMLH, which is then connected to your Discord, all use the same email so we can track you between all three. You don't need to if you don't care about points and things like that, but generally, because you are completing challenges, I think it is smart to, if you can, use the same email between all three. And again, if you're having issues with that, you can always, like I talked about before, go into the Global Hack Week section and go into Ask Global Hack Week and create a post there. And that can be where you can get some more help from people to help you work through all of those sort of technical problems. Hey Samada, welcome. It's been a while since I've seen you around. Okay. Pharaoh, I had said we were going to pick up on this when we got back. I have reached a point where run current scene only shows the ambient background gradient. I'm trying to get the level and character graphics to appear. Okay, so if we open up Godot, what you are saying is this is roughly what you see. In this case, our camera's pointed straight down, so you just see the brown. But you would see like brown and then blue if you have the camera facing sideways. Is that correct? Just want to make sure I understand what you're seeing. Correct. Okay. Do you have a player and like floor in the scene, or have you yet to add those? Are they like in the scene? I have a character and a plane, but they aren't getting rendered by the... I know exactly what's happening. Have you moved your camera up? Because if it is currently still at the base layer, it is inside the plane, and the plane is a two-dimensional object that will not render. So you need to move the camera up in the Z dimension. I believe that's C. You need to move it like that. If that's not the problem, if you've already done that, we can keep troubleshooting. That's my first thought. Town May, do I only get swags if I complete the tasks? Fill out our address form, sign up for the GitHub student developer pack, and let us know type form, redeem your type form. Okay, the camera's up in the Z, tilted towards the character, and shows character in preview. Okay, so you can see the character, and the character is not falling, so you have collision between the character and the plane, but the plane is not showing. Is that correct? Regarding swag, let me take a look. Oh, also happy Valentine's Day, y'all. Kind of forgot that was today. Thankfully, no one's going to be upset at me for forgetting that. Swag. So yeah, okay. My understanding of swag. Oh, Shem already got it. Shem beat me to it. Yep, Shem is completely correct. You need to register and check in to Global Hack Week, and then you need to check in and attend 5 streams. My Valentine is air. It's a good Valentine. I always like it when I have air. When playing the main scene, only background shows, so no character. Oh, so it shows the character in the preview, but not in the main when I did that dramatic inhale. Can you send a screenshot in the Discord in the what would it be? Into which chat would it be? I always get so lost in the Discord. I'm not in it enough. Global Hack Week. Okay. If you can drop a screenshot in AIML week. Thank you, Jasal. I can take a look at what's happening. I'm in top 3%. Is that good? That's very good. Like Shem just said. Yes, for me, that's just another holiday. Yep. We have a Valentine Phantom that decorates the entire town on Valentine's Day Eve. I went out for a walk last night and saw the identity of the Valentine Day Phantom. Oh my goodness. You know your local Banksy, which is always exciting. Oh, I've like seen this before, but I didn't process. Those are, for those of you who've been to one of my streams before, you'll recognize those from my background. That would be much appreciated. Great. Pharaoh, whenever you can send that. I just saw Jasal that you posted what the sidebar looks like, which is kind of ironic. What do I need to do? Wait, I've lost the train of thought. What are you referring to? You're talking about registering. Call me Jay, much easier. Great. Jay, so on the Global Hack Week website, you're going to want to click wait. Shem, help. I actually don't know what the swag process looks like. If you can't help Shem, that's totally fine because you are not paid to be here. Jay, if this does not get answered by someone in chat, because I actually don't know what to tell you, you can either at noon today Eastern time, so 2 hours from now. Wait. Okay. I thought for a sec that my stream ended at 10 and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm so over. No, it ends at 11. At noon today, so 2 hours from now, you can come back and there's like a Q&A session at the end of Today in Global Hack Week, and those people will be able to answer your question. If not, you can also ask it in the Discord. Sorry that I don't have a better answer to that. I really need to know how swag works so I can answer questions like that. Tonmei, can my PC run Godot, Linux Mint, 4 gigabytes RAM, Intel 4th gen? Wait, but I don't have a question. I'm so sorry. I thought when you asked, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? I thought you had a question. Can my PC run Godot? Yes. Jay's saying yes. I think you should try it. Worst case scenario, it chugs a little bit. But Godot is fairly lightweight in general. And it also does have a web editor. It's not stable yet, but it's good for messing around in. No, it's okay. Okay, great. I'm going to read this, Shem, so I understand. Basic swag, register and check into Global Hack Week. Fill out address form, sign up for GoDaddy domain name, sign up for GitHub developer pack. Those are the 5 items. For bonus swag, register, check in, and attend 5 live streams. Ah, ha, 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 ha. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Shem. I appreciate that. I didn't really understand what the registration challenges were, but that makes a lot of sense. Ah, great. Jay, I understand now. I was just saying I didn't do the process. Perfect. Okay. Oh, okay. I love that I am like learning and being taught all of the different like thank you Juice and thank you Malode. I see that now. Oh golly, okay. What? I saw that you bonked me. I'm sorry that that didn't work. Next month we're going through and we're troubleshooting all of these things that have happened. Ugh. Okay. I feel like I'm always writing this down, then always losing these notes. Things to fix MLH streams. Bonk not working. I'll refund you as well, Juice. Bonk not working. Adi, a bit late, not too late. How are you doing? I'm doing well. I have an exam on 16. I'm assuming 16 being 1600 hours or 4. Recorded watching YouTube for replay or rewind. Very true. You can go to the MLH YouTube channel, and all of my recent streams have with dimmer in the end, so you can search for dimmer on the channel and see everything that I've done. Bonk not working. Add tangent alert. And then we need to add descriptions. You were looking for a bat for the bonk. Ah, thank you, Shem. Oh my goodness. I totally forgot that. That is an extremely good memory. Wow. Do we need to fill out the address form in every hackathons? Because I've already registered in the previous one. I don't believe so. I believe if all of your address and information is the same, then you should be good. If anything has changed, fill it out again. But otherwise, it's basically just so that MLH knows where to send it. Lolling that you knew what that sentence meant. I knew exactly what you meant as soon as I read it. Okay, add descriptions, and then update script to hide dramatic tension. Okay, great. Bat logo. So when you redeem like oof, you'll notice that we have like the default Roblox up there to show what it is. I couldn't find a thing to do for bonk. So bonk doesn't work yet because it doesn't have that piece. Smata, yep, it's the same. Great, then I don't believe you need to fill out another address form. Shrey, hey, could you change the highlight color for those other rewards? For now, it's only Rickroll. Yeah, so the goal there was that it showed that the purple ones are sound rewards and the Rickroll is a video reward. But that it makes sense that it's all very samey. So I can look into that as well. Okay, great. Thank you. It feels like only Rickroll is active. Yeah, that makes sense. It is kind of a dark purple color. If they weren't active, they would not be showing. So now you'll see that only dramatic tension is showing because the script is broken and doesn't turn that off. That is what it looks like when they are off. Okay, I'm now currently looking at Pharaoh, your screenshot. Can you switch to the 3D view rather than the script view so I can see your scene? Oh wait, I see the error as well. Ah, okay. Let's see. detected. Sorry, I'm looking into... I can at least share my screen. Looking into Pharaoh's problem. Is Godot a language? Godot itself is not a language, but GD script is a Godot specific language. You can also use C++ and C#. So, Pharaoh, if you're still here, I believe that the problem is that you are trying to set visibility. Like you like have more here than the default. Oh, that's. And it is the error instant set visibility parent cycle detected in the visibility dependencies tree. I think you've set one of the things to themselves as the parent for visibility, so it is just making it invisible with the error. That is my read on what your error is. I don't know for sure. I will look into that. Great. I just yoinked my headphone cable twice now. Okay, great. We now have like 40 minutes. I need to, okay. Okay. You can tell I'm like slightly more chaotic in the brain than I am usually when like everything else in my life is all set. Why didn't TTS work there? Hey Dimmer, I'm back. A worse season of exams. Thank you, Shem. That makes everything better. Let me test this. It's TTS, not TSS. Hey Dimmer, I'm back. A worse season of exams. Ugh, I'm so sorry. Exams always stuck. Thank you kindly for all of your time. No, that's the point of this. If it was just to like follow tutorials and to teach things, it could be a YouTube video. The point of the live stream in my mind is to be able to interact with you and to answer questions and to help with that sort of thing. It's why I will never stop doing tangents. Like, we can make jokes about it and I will make a tangent alert, but the point of the live streams in my mind is the tangents. With that, I'm going to speed this up a little bit. Let's actually jump into doing the entire thing that the point of this stream was, which is that pathfinding and navigation. Because
Exams made me forget the commands also.
I mean, I get that. We have our environment with a player and some obstacles. Now we just want an enemy to pathfind to the player.
I have a simple environment set up here and a simple player controller. I can move around, look around, jump around, and that's about it. What I'm going to do is...
That is roughly where we have gotten. We don't have the moving around, jumping around. I was hoping for that, but it works the same for us to see from a top-down perspective.
I'm going to add a navigation mesh to this scene, and then I'm going to put enemies on here that will chase the player around. So let's start by adding the nav mesh. Go to the root node and add a navigation region 3D, and drag the environment meshes, make them a child of that navigation region 3D. Click the navigation region, go to nav mesh, new navigation mesh, and click bake nav mesh up here. You should be able to see the nav mesh now, and I'm going to show you a few things that you could change or maybe you'd want to adjust on here. First, if you click the nav mesh property, go to agents. Let's say I made this height 5 and then I clicked bake nav mesh again. You can see here that this platform now, because it's less than 5 meters off of the ground, that's removed here from the nav mesh.
To restate, what we are doing here is we are defining the area in which we want our enemies to be able to navigate through and stand on. And by changing height, we're saying our enemy characters are 5 meters tall, so they wouldn't be able to fit under here. So let's remove that from the area that they will think they can navigate through. This is taking the like infinite many points that you have a traveling salesman problem for with just no mesh at all, And we are now defining certain regions that our enemies can and cannot go through.
Mesh. So that's something important to keep in mind if you've got doors or overhanging ledges or something around your environment. 1.5
Yes.
works totally fine for me, so I'm just going to keep it like that. The other adjustment I'm going to make is I don't want agents to be able to climb up, halfway up this ramp. I want them to have to enter closer to the bottom, so I'm going to change max climb to 0.05. But then when I bake it, the nav mesh kind of breaks a little bit, and that's because the cells here, I've got this.
I'm going to drop this in chat. This is definitely a much higher level tutorial than the other one. The other one's very much intro to Godot. This is you have some Godot experience. Let's specifically talk about how navigation works.
Max climb height set to something that is lower than the height of a cell. So I need to change that height to be the same thing. And if I bake it again,
It's !TTS, Jay. And why is this happening? So what was happening there is we were defining, if we scroll back, we had increased the amount that they could have height, but we had kept the max, wait. Yes, okay, sorry. Other way around. We had decreased the max climb, so our enemies could not climb up the ledge along this side, but we hadn't increased decreased the height of each of our cells. If you think about, like, we're laying a grid almost over this and then smashing that grid flat, we hadn't increased or decreased, we hadn't made more granular the grid. So it was only catching every so often because we were going like, oh, well, we can't climb up this with like big steps, was the way that it was working before. That's not a great explanation, but it's the best that I
Did
can
we
give.
define the corners to be excluded, or was it when the map chosen by he?
It was when the map was chosen by height. So what we've just done is we have made all of our environment nodes a child to a navigation region 3D. And then inside this navigation region 3D, we have created a new navigation mesh and we have baked it. And we can see here, when I have created it, it looks pretty jank, I'll be honest. But we can see that we have these patches on top of the cubes and everything surrounding the cubes. And in this case, if we had a slope here, it would do the same that it is doing with the cubes. Actually, let's do this. Let's take you and let's drag you down.
Oh,
Like
what if we have multiple heats?
that. And now if we go back and we bake our nav mesh, you'll notice that we can climb up this side, but not those sides. What if we have multiple heights? So that would be, you would create a nav mesh per type of enemy. Because you also might, for game design reasons, want your enemies to be able to navigate differently. If we have a map that has a lake or an ocean in it and one type of enemy can swim, they can navigate across the water. But if another can't, we would exclude the water from the nav mesh. So a nav mesh is per different type of pathfinding that we are doing. I'm going to go back to the tutorial. Again, if we have questions, I'll stop to answer them.
change that height to be the same thing.
Dang,
And if
so
I bake it
complicated.
again-
It really is. Game design is never easy. It's cool to like learn the programming, and then also I'm going to say this again. I know it's !TTS. Yeah, I know it takes a bit to get used to. Yeah, it's a thing that is like very hard to get used to, because once you even learn the programming, then you need to learn all of the design aspects of how do you create a game that's like fun and engaging and interesting. It's very complicated. Again, Game Maker's Toolkit is a wonderful YouTube channel filled with video essays about game design if you are interested.
It looks perfectly fine. So this looks good. I'll save this scene, and I'm going to make the enemy now. So I'm going to make the enemy a character body 3D. Call it enemy. Give it a mesh instance 3D and a collision shape 3D. For the mesh instance, I'll make it a capsule mesh. And I'm going to give it a standard material 3D and change the albedo to a nice red color. There we go. Collision shape, I'm going to select it as a capsule shape, and I'm going to transform. Set the Y to 1, just so that the origin is at the bottom of the capsule. Oh, and actually I'm gonna add one more node. I'm gonna add this navigation agent 3D node, and this is what's gonna be used for the pathfinding. So I'll save that now, and then I'm gonna attach a script to the enemy.
Great. So, I'm actually... can hardly wait for Global Hack Week Games Week. I am so excited.
So what is the nav mesh doing?
So the nav mesh is... I think a great way of thinking about it is, do you know of the children's game The Floor is Lava? The concept is that you should try getting from one point to the other, but you can't touch the floor. I used to play it in a playground where there was like wood chips on the ground and a bunch of different like play structures and benches and things like that. And you couldn't touch any of the wood chips, but you could touch any of the other things. In essence, what we're doing is we're saying the floor is lava. You cannot navigate anywhere on this map except for where there is nav mesh. So if we take a look, we can see that right next to, why can't I move the way that I thought I could?
So it's an invert exclusion zone.
Yes. Those words make sense in sequence, but I did not know of that phrasing before. Again, not super experienced in the classical computer science stuff. You're talking in real computer science speak, and I'm referencing children's playground games. Okay. So that's what the nav mesh is doing. Green Yoshi, very good way to describe that. Thank you. I'm happy with that analogy. Okay, let's create our enemy. We're going to create a new... This is a character body 3D. And we are going to attach a mesh instance 3D. And that mesh instance is going to be a capsule mesh that we are going to transform to be up 1 in the y-axis. And then we are going to create simplified convex collision sibling. There we go. So now we have our mesh, we have our collisions. And now let's go into surface materials. And, oh, I don't want it to be a fog material. No. Okay. There we go. Albedo. What color do we want it to be? Our blocks are, let's make it red. And then we'll change the color of our blocks. There we go. Okay. Great. So we now have our enemy, and then we want to add a navigation agent. Navigation agent 3D. And now we are connecting a script, and we're going to do some coding. Wait. You're joking. Oh. That. On our level, let us add an enemy. I forgot we need to instantiate. There we go. Okay. I'm going to drag it back. I believe. Oh my God. You know all that time that we spent to write the code that moves our player around? If we had just created them as a character body, it would have been there by default. Our enemy can jump. Irony. Okay. Well, we have two characters. They move around. They're friends. Oh, and they even have collision. Wow, it's shockingly hard to control two. Wait, you go that. I can't do that. Anyway, we have our two characters. Good to know about when I create things in the future. I am definitely not. I'm going to let our characters be character bodies rather than physics objects.
And I'm not going to use this template. I'm going to use just an empty script.
First, second person game. Irony. Okay, we actually aren't supposed to use the template, which is even more ironic. So let me delete this script. And now if I do this again, what? Okay, well, I just broke everything. We're gonna recreate our enemy from scratch. I thought that I knew what I was doing. I did not. Okay. It is a character body 3D on which we are adding a mesh instance 3D. That mesh instance is going to be a capsule mesh. We are going to transform it 1 meter into the air. We are going to generate a simplified convex collision sibling. We are going to, under the mesh instance 3D, surface material override, create a new surface material. Set its albedo to a red. We're going to save as enemy. We are then going to add child node, navigation agent 3D. Great. Now we save. Wait, I forgot we can't do that. I need to instantiate. There we go. We are back to where we were before I made all those mistakes. So now in our enemy, we are going to create a script and we are not going to use the template. Hey, there we go. Okay.
So
In hindsight, I could have just deleted the code. Say Lippy. Okay.
the first thing I'm going to need is a reference to the nav agent. So add onready var nav agent equals navigation agent 3D. And we're going to need a function that can be called on our enemy in order to set the target location, which in this case will be the player's location. I'm going to call it func update target location. Target location. And all we have to do in this function is nav agent dot set target location.
Tanmei, you should ask that question in the Discord. There was something similar that happened before. In the Discord under Global Hack, under Ask Global Hack Week, create a post there. Hey, Alonzo. Yeah, sorry, no, you don't need to apologize. Long time no see. Which sibling was used for the mesh instance 3D? It doesn't really matter in this instance. I used a simplified convex collision sibling. You probably could have just used single convex. Oh wait, no. You could really have used any of these because it's just a capsule. It's not super complicated. I honestly don't know the differences well enough. I just know that that was what was used in our previous tutorial.
location. And we are going to call this and have this target set in the world scene. But for now, let's just assume that it's being set properly. And let's actually calculate the movement, which we will do in the physics process function. So the physics process. A little bit of vector math here, but it's just a couple lines. It's pretty easy. Let's start by getting the current location of the enemy. Current location equals global transform.origin. And then we want to get the next desired location in the path that is currently being calculated by the navigation agent 3D. And we can get that by typing next location equals navagent.get next.
Any sibling suggestions for a character being a 2D sprite in a 3D space? I think there the best thing that you can do is create Google it, because there are people who are more experienced with game dev than I, but what I would do is I would create a manual collision shape 3D, and I would create either a box or a capsule, and I would just size it to roughly the size of the sprite so that collisions work with it, but you can't do that necessarily automatically. Automatically, it works for simple shapes like this, but if we had a more complex, like let's say we had a fully rigged out and modeled character, I would not be creating a collision sibling. I would be creating this as a capsule anyway, so that those collisions are easier, so that I don't get like an arm caught on a wall and get stuck and things like that. So that the player, like, the way that I think about collisions is the goal is not necessarily, unless you are creating a game that is like modeled around physics, the goal is for you to have the player feel like how they expect it to feel. So you don't want, like, if your character is like a flowing cloak, you don't want collisions on the cloak, because they don't need to think about whether or not like the long tail of it will catch on a wall. You want it to be a capsule just around the like main part of their body, so that if they hit a wall, like the collisions work the way that they expect it to. Hopefully that answers that question.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, of course. I do want to restate that I am not like an experienced game developer. I just have done a lot of small game design projects. So when it comes to bringing this all together into one game, I don't know much, but when it comes to making small little things, I know a little. Okay. He is just kind of like talking very quickly while he writes, and it is not very useful. So I am going to lecture instead. I say lecture, as in I am going to open up our script here, and we're going to write this out, and I'm going to explain what it's doing. So we do onReady var new agent equals $, navigation agent 3D. So what this is doing is, again, onReady. So whenever this scene is loaded, we are creating a variable that we are calling new agent, and we are linking that to this navigation agent 3D. I don't necessarily know all of the implications of the $ syntax, so there are edge cases in that and uses that I do not know of, but I know generally what we're doing in this case. Then we do var speed equals 3.0 just to define how fast our enemy character is going to be going. And then we're going to do two things. One, we're going to create a function that's called update target location. And this is just going to give us target location. This is just going to give us where we want our player to go, where we want it to navigate to. So in essence, this is where our like main character is, because that's what we are navigating to. But if you wanted, let's say you had a non-player character that was allied with the player, and you wanted them to navigate to like a market to be able to buy them something at the market, this is you would set that location to the market. But in this case, we're setting it to our player. Nav agent dot set target location target location. So yeah, when we call this function, we pass in the target's location, and then we just say, hey, nav agent, which is our navigation agent 3D. This is where you should be navigating to instead. Now we create another function, and this is physics process, which we've used before in our player. It just says process. We're basically, oh, goodness. This is where we are going to be using delta, which is the amount of time elapsed between frames to calculate smooth movements between different things. 404, hola. I do have to leave before I go bankrupt on metal pipes. It's finals week for me, so yay. But jumped in to say hi. Hi, 404. Welcome. I've definitely missed you this week. But best of luck on finals. As you know, I wholeheartedly support you not showing up to stream in order to do that. And new background, yes, I moved 2 days ago. So I'm at a new place. Hopefully, eventually, it'll look as cool and warm and inviting as previous background did. But for now, it is just kind of an empty, blank white box. Good luck on your finals. Praying for you. I agree. Best of luck on your finals. I believe in you. Oh my goodness, 404, you're so popular. Literally, everyone's just like, oh, 404 is here. Understandably so, I might add. Celebrity, I mean, yeah. I think also less celebrity and more just like friendly, consistent face. Not to discount your celebrity, 404. Okay, so our physics process, where we're going to be processing basically each frame, taking into account the time that it took to render that frame. We're going to set var current location equal to global transform dot origin, which is the origin of this player character, or of this scene. So we're basically saying, okay, this is where we are right now. So that if, let's say, our character were to be hit by a cannonball and knocked away, it would not still think it was where it was before. So every time we do this, we start with where we actually are, and then var next location equals nav agent dot get next. Oh. I typed new agent rather than nav agent up there. That should be nav agent. I misread the code. Get next location. So that is basically using the already implemented A-star algorithm that it uses for pathfinding and navigation, find the next place that we should be going to. And then we're going to create a variable that is new velocity. And we're going to set that equal to, those are curly brackets, there we go. Next location minus current location dot normalized times speed. So to translate, we are looking to calculate basically what direction and what speed we're going to be moving. So we take the next location minus the current location. So that gives us two three-dimensional, like we're doing vector subtraction here to figure out what direction we need to be facing. And then we normalize it so that if they're very far away or very close together, we are moving at the same speed. So the vector in this case is now just direction, and then we multiply it by speed. So that brings our speed back into the equation, but that speed is a speed that we control up there. And then we are going through and setting our velocity equal to new velocity. And we're going to move and slide to actually update that velocity. So this is the like baseline basic setup for our enemy moving around, but you'll notice that we have this function here that we aren't actually calling on anything. So that is what we are going to do next. Let me take a look. I've lost my windows. Okay. Nope, not you. There we go. I do this professionally. There we go. Okay. So we're now going to hit play, and we are going to look at setting the player location. And then, yeah, we should have it working for one character. I'll answer questions, we'll get it implemented, and then hopefully we're going to skip over height fix, corner jitter fix, because that's not something, well, we'll take a look at it. Target reached signal, great. Doesn't look like we have any questions right now, so let's get started again.
And this is all of the movement code that we need. All we need to do now is to set this update, to set this target location with this function. So we're going to do that in the world scene, and we're going to do that by adding the enemy to a group. So this enemy root node here, go to groups, and I'll add it to the group enemies. And then let's attach a script to the world scene over here. So we're going to be setting the player location for all these enemies. So we're going to need a reference to the player so we can get that location. So at onReady var player equals player. And we'll set the target location in the physics process as well. So func physics process. So we want to get all of the enemies in our scene tree. So get tree.
Will the scripts and or Godot project file be available online? I will not be posting my scripts or Godot files, but these tutorials will each be in the description of the YouTube recording. I don't think there's much value in me showing my files because it was just following the tutorial. I have not added anything new, and I might have actually made mistakes from the tutorials.
Call group enemies. And then so right here, we'll put the function name, and right here we will pass in the argument, which is going to be the player's location. So player.global transform.origin, and that function name is update target location. So I'll put that there. And then let's drop an enemy in here to test it out. So let's take the enemy scene here. All right, that looks pretty good. Let's take a look. Okay, it's moving. So you'll see it's kind of floating above the ground a little bit, and that's just because the navigation mesh sits above the ground a little bit. We could fix that by going to this navigation agent 3D pathfinding panel.
I'm actually going to pause, and we are going to implement setting the player location. Great. So, first thing that we do is in our enemy, we're going to go into node groups, and we're going to add a group enemies. Great. And then actually, let's only do one for now. We have our enemy in our scene. Now in our world here, our base node, we are going to attach a script. And in it, we are going to do @onReady var player equals $player. So we are defining our variable player being player in our node tree. And then we are going to create a function that is physics process delta, and we are going to get tree. So we're going to get this tree right here, all of our nodes, and then we're going to call group, and our group is enemies. So any enemies that are in this right here, our method, and then what we're passing into that method. So in this case, player dot global transform dot origin. Theoretically, I think that in those quotes it should be update target location. Yes, it is. Great. Okay. Update target location. So that's using that function that we wrote before. Now, if we go into our 3D scene and we hit play, please work. Whoa. Non-existent function set target location in base navigation agent 3D. Forgot about this. This is a thing that people were talking about in the comments. This tutorial is for 4.0 and I'm running 4.1. So nav agent dot get path position. And then also set target is now nav agent dot target position equals target location. Sorry about that. Forgot there's been an update. Now that we run this, we should be able to hopefully run you. Okay. Oh. Invalid get index normalized. Should just be dot Godot normalize. It's a function. Dot normalized. Yep, parentheses. Hey, there we go. Non-existent function normalized in base vector 3. Okay, I don't know. Oh my god. Did I seriously spell it wrong? Normalized. It is literally the spelling. Hey! And we can see that it updates depending on which way would be the fastest way to get to me around any of our obstacles. We have a pathfinding AI that is working. And it's 10:55, so that is basically the end of our stream. but you'll notice that it won't try going up there. But if the player... Can the player go up that ramp? No, okay. Funny, it doesn't look like Tetris. Thanks, Shem. But we have our pathfinding AI. We have a character that moves around. We have the basics of a game here. Congrats, y'all. We did it. With that, I am going to switch back to my just talking. I'm going to turn channel points off before I forget. Switch back to my just talking view and say thank you all so much for coming. This has been a wonderful Global Hack Week. I know I've streamed fewer because I was moving, but I've had a wonderful time. I hope you've learned something. And
Can we try to hit into a wall?
can we try to hit into a wall? I mean, so we were. Let's take a look. As in trying to get it to hit into a wall? Because you'll see that, like, here it's like, it's stuck. Yeah, it has collisions. It moves pretty slowly, but you do not need to apologize. But yeah, that is
GG.
working. GG indeed. Next month is Global Hack Week Games. What's the actual... What's it called? I know it is to do with game development. It is Games Week. Okay. I am really excited for that, if you can't tell. Thank you, Shem. That is the one thing that does not get turned off automatically with my script. Thank you. I'm going to turn it off manually right now.
Thank you, Dimmer.
Did you turn them all off? Yes. It's just that I added dramatic tension after the script was designed. Disabled. Great. Okay. Now everything's turned off. Thank you, Shem. I really appreciate that. Yeah. Thank you, Shrey. Thank you, Green Yoshi X. Thank you, Juice. And thank you, Pharaoh. This has been a wonderful stream. Yeah, of course. Before I forget, I'm going to add the tutorials. The first tutorial that we were following was the second tutorial that we were following was, just so that those are saved with the recording so people have access to them. Great, that's saved as well. With that, I will see you all next month. Hopefully my background will look better as I'm more moved in. I look forward to seeing y'all then. And yeah, thank you so much for an amazing Global Hack Week. We come for the session, we stay for the tangent. I mean, I love that so much. And Shem, thanks heaps, Dimmer. Get some rest and have an easy rest of your move as much as possible. I'm over the hump. It's downhill from here. I can do this. See you again next month. Yep. Have a great rest of your Global Hack Week. I know we still have a bunch more streams. Bye, Dimmer. Thanks for the stream. Thanks, Jay. Happy hacking, y'all. Bye.